What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series where we're talking about Transformers 5. This is episode number 34. And first of all, Happy New Year. Happy 2016. 2016 is going to be a big year, especially for Transformers, because considering that Transformers 5 is scheduled to be released in summer of 2017, things should start moving along right about now. And that's what we're here to talk about. The last time I made an update for the Road to TF5 was back in November 28th of last year. And the thing I talked about in that episode was the fact that Paramount was negotiating with 3 writers to write Transformers 5. Ken Nolan, who wrote Black Hawk Down, and writing partners Art Markham and Matt Holloway, who wrote Iron Man. Both films are solid, and I'm going to automatically assume that all 3 of those writers are on board for Transformers 5. That is already great news for Transformers 5. Now, the big news that we're waiting for is, of course, who is going to be directing Transformers 5? Well, it has been confirmed this morning, according to Rolling Stone magazine, that Michael Bay will be directing Transformers 5. That was confirmed by himself. As a matter of fact, there hasn't been a press release from Paramount or Hasbro, but he pretty much confirmed it on this interview for Rolling Stone magazine. Before the release of a major film, or rather a film of Michael Bay, he usually does a comprehensive interview with a magazine, a major magazine rather, and this time it would be for Rolling Stone magazine, and this is a really, really great read. It's a great article. You should definitely check it out. I'll leave you a link. I'll leave you the link to the article in the description box below. Definitely check it out. He's talking about his latest film, 13 Hours, the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, and he talks a lot about it. But later on, he talks about projects he's working on. There's a reality show, there's an IMAX documentary about elephant poaching. Of course, he's doing post-production for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the sequel, Out of the Shadows, and then he mentioned Transformers 5. And that is how he confirmed that he will be directing Transformers 5. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. When I read this article, what I gathered from it is that Paramount already knew that they were going to get Michael Bay directing Transformers 5. Michael Bay already knew that he was going to be directing Transformers 5 months ago. I'm pretty positive about that, because I'm just thinking, why haven't we got any news about who's going to be directing? Not even candidates, not even runner-ups, not even a list of potential directors that Paramount is looking for to direct Transformers 5. And the fact is that they know it. They know that for Transformers, the live-action franchise, or rather the next installment in the Transformers live-action franchise, to achieve the same type of box office success that it's had over the course of the last 4 films, they need to bring back the action maestro, and that is Michael Bay. And he brings in the big bucks, make no mistake about it. This is a business, and that is why they want to keep a formula that works. And that is why Michael Bay is on board. How do I feel about that? Well, I can't say that I'm not disappointed, mainly because we've seen the last 4 films from Michael Bay, and he has a very general but specific formula for his Transformers films. We kind of see the same thing over and over again. If you really, really pay attention to what's really going on the bigger picture, it's more or less the same kind of thing, but with different Transformers characters and on a much larger scale as each film progresses. But yeah, it is a very, very specific formula that he goes by for every single film. So that's why I'm slightly disappointed that we're not seeing a different vision, but a part of me is also excited. I actually really, really enjoy Michael Bay films. They're brainless. They're a ride. They're the definition of popcorn films, all right? That's what they are. They're summer blockbuster popcorn films, and regardless of how dumb they are, okay, I'm gonna go right ahead and say it, but they're dumb but fun movies. And I go to the theater for a good time. And there's a reason why I watched Transformers Age of Extinction 11 times. Most of those times being in IMAX 3D. I don't mind paying $20 a pop every time I watch this movie, mainly because I want to experience that ride and that fun time over and over and over again. I can't get that same experience when I watch it at home. I can only get that experience when I watch it on the big screen. So I am disappointed, but at the same time, I'm also excited. It's kind of like a love-hate kind of thing that I have with the Michael Bay Transformers franchise that I've developed ever since Age of Extinction came out. But that's how I feel. But there's going to be some positive changes. As we already know, Aaron Kruger is out, okay? Aaron Kruger, in my opinion, is the bane of the of Transformers being not good, okay? It's Aaron Kruger. I mean, Michael Bay has a little part to do with that, mainly because of the way he directs his films, because, you know, they're really a generic style that anybody can predict. But at the end of the day, it's Aaron Kruger because, you know, he's responsible for the writing, he's responsible for the story. It's Michael Bay that actually brings the story to life. But at the end of the day, Aaron Kruger conceptualized all this, and it was his idea at the end of the day. So I'm glad Aaron Kruger is out, and I'm really I'm feeling quite positive that we're bringing in some new blood. All right. I mean, heck, we even got Oscar Academy awarded writer Akiva Goldsman as a script supervisor, as the head of the writers' room. So that in itself is a great thing. He scripted Transformers 5. He didn't write Transformers 5, and I'm pretty sure right now Ken Nolan, Art Markham, and Matt Holloway, who are some really, really great writers, are currently working on the script for Transformers 5. So that is exciting. Now I'm going to read you a couple of quotes taken directly from Rolling Stone magazine. And over here he talks about all the different projects that he's working on. So it says, between his producing duties and directorial work, Bay usually has half a dozen projects going on at once right now. In addition to 13 Hours, he's doing post-production on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which he's producing and which is due in 2016, and pre-production for the next Transformers, which he's directing for summer 2017. I'm doing Transformers 5, is it? Bay says, temporarily losing track. He shakes his head. I've taken on a lot of work. Moving on, it goes on to talk more about Transformers, and what happens next is that he shows to the interviewer from Rolling Stones some visual effects shots for his upcoming films and some concept work, which he shows directly from ILM, which is in LA. And so the way he does this from Miami is that he connects directly through Skype or whatever, right? So what he shows them is some pretty interesting things. So let's just read what it says here. Finally, there's Transformers. They show Bay an underwater rendering of a crash-landed alien spaceship. Then a new dump truck transformer with a cloak. Neither up to snuff. Boy, I've got a lot of work to do, Bay says, shaking his head. I better finish this fucking 13 Hours movie. He thanks ILM and kills the video link, then turns to me. It's not good when I'm not involved. Now he's referring to, of course, these visual effects shots that need work, and this is, I didn't mention this, but this is like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows stuff, and then he showed some concept work for the crash-landed alien spaceship, which is underwater, and also a dump truck Transformers with a cloak. Okay, I don't know what exactly this is going to be all about, but it's great to know that it involves a crash-landed alien spaceship underwater and a dump truck Transformer with a cloak. All right, that's all we got so far with regards to the story. That's all we got, okay? And now let's move on to talk about, like, why he's even taking on this job, okay? The movie industry has really changed, Bay says, apropos of nothing. The middle budget movie is basically gone. They just want these big movies. The irony of this statement goes unremarked upon. Transformers, I still have a great time. It's fun to do a movie that 100 million people will see, but this is the last one. I have to pass the reins to someone else. I remind Bay that he said the same thing before each of the last 2 Transformers movies. I know, he says, J.J. Abrams told me, you're the only guy that could do this. But it's time to move on. One more. So he says one more. This is the last one. Just one more time. He has a lot of fun with these films. Can't blame him because after all, Transformers live action sequel directed by Michael Bay, when he's on set, he's in his playground. You can't blame the guy for having a lot of fun, and he wants to do this because he wants to. He has a lot of fun on set, and he always has a great time, all right? So I don't blame Michael Bay for wanting to do this. It almost doesn't even have anything to do with money at this point. I mean, the guy's net worth is $500 million. So it's not even about money. It's just about, you know what, pleasing yourself by doing a film like 13 Hours, like a smaller film, and then pleasing the guys that gave you a chance. That's Paramount and Hasbro. Paramount Studios, all right? And Steven Spielberg, of course. You gotta please the big guys, okay? It's kind of like how, you know, you can't forget the people that made you who you are now, okay? So that's why he does these big films for Paramount Pictures, all right? So, like I said, the way I feel about it is that I'm slightly disappointed that we're not seeing a new vision. I would really like to see something new, but I'm at least happy about the fact that we're bringing on new blood on board, and that is these new writers, 3 of them, who have written great films, written for great films, and to top things off, they're changing things up with Akiva Goldsman's take on the future of the franchise. So things are going to change, and they're changing for the positive. It took 4 movies to finally set this franchise in what I personally believe will be the right direction. All right, so it doesn't matter if Michael Bay's on board directing. I'm excited, okay? I mean, as bad as these films are, you know what? Sue me for saying that, but you know what? There's a reason why these films don't get high scores with critics, okay? And it's because of the bad storytelling, the poor, the way it's directed, and the poor dialogue, you know, and the bad acting. As much as these films are bad, the Transformers fan in me loves these movies. These are guilty pleasures of mine, okay? I love these films no matter what. I mean, when I watch these, you know, Dinobots on screen, I feel like a kid again. I'm like, you know, and when I see these guys transform, I mean, all these characters that I love from the cartoons, when I see them transform, I'm like, like I said, I feel like a kid again. All right, so that is pretty awesome. Now, they do got to make big changes, and they are doing that with the writers and a new direction and all that. But I have to stress that the change is important, okay? They can't keep on doing the same formula over and over and over again. They have to make evident changes, because if you take a look at the domestic box office, there has been a huge, massive decline. Even though the first Transformers film made $300 million domestically, Revenge of the Fallen did make $400 million afterwards, but that was because, you know, a lot of the fans thought that, okay, you know what, we're going to give this a chance, we want more, we're going to watch the sequel, and that's why Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, although being the worst one, in my opinion, made the most amount of money. And then it declined with Dark of the Moon at $350 million, and then it declined significantly domestically at $245 million at the box office. And this box office decline has a lot to do with, you know, I'm going to say it right here, it's the direction, all right? Nothing new is being introduced. I mean, you could introduce all the new characters you want, but at the end of the day, it follows the exact same storytelling formula, and there are no twists, there are no surprises. It's really just action, 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 boom, 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 explosion, blah, blah, blah. You know what? So they really got to change things up. But then, in my opinion, I'm thinking, what do you expect? What do you expect? It's a Michael Bay directed Transformers film. I've seen these films multiple times. I've seen it Transformers 8 times. I've seen Revenge of the Fallen 3 times. And I'm talking about in theater. I've seen Dark of the Moon somewhere between 8 and 11 times. And I've seen Age of Extinction 11 times in the theaters. So, that tells you something about me as a fan. I love these films no matter what. It doesn't matter who you put to direct these films. It doesn't matter if the critics hate them. And it doesn't matter if the writing is bad, I will continue to support these films no matter what, just because of how they're very dear to me as a kid, as a movie fan and as a Transformers fan. And there's a lot of huge nostalgia to it. Even though there's lots of changes, I feel a huge nostalgia and I feel like a kid. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. 2016 starts off with a bang with this confirmation that Michael Bay is going to be directing. And from this point on, with Michael Bay behind the helm, you know that there's going to be lots and lots and lots of stuff going to be happening. Because Michael Bay isn't that subtle when he makes movies. Things are going to happen. Things are going to get leaked. All right, set reports are going to happen this summer when they're filming. We know Mark Wahlberg is back. Toy leaks are going to happen. We're going to get concept art. All right, so make sure you stay subscribed to this channel because there's going to be lots and lots of stuff for you guys to find out and know about Transformers 5, which is coming to theaters in IMAX most likely and IMAX 3D in 2017. And that's all I got to say in this video. As always, if you like this video and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Title yet, just because they don't even really have a script. They have an idea and they have the story worked out, but they don't have an actual script, so it's not quite